to see him in the room. And one blue steel, and we know who that is, LD.
Oh, we do, yeah. That is Adam Roper, Harlan Sweet.
That is fan favourite, blue steel connoisseur, content creator.
Flying the flag for blue steel. the community will be well behind Harlan, I'm sure. And last I spoke to him, it seemed like his day was still going quite well, so we might have a chance to catch
Wie sie noch labern, so, ja, Hype, wie dieser Guy mit Blue Steel noch im Event ist. Meanwhile, guckt hier, Steel Mirror.
Yeah,
he's managed to
you could
claw
tell
his
as well.
way back, and he's still cooking. We love to see it.
Yeah, known Adam for quite some time, and yeah, he's an emotive.
Das haben wir vorhin schon gesehen, genau dieses Matchup. Jetzt gucken wir es nochmal. Yeah.
Have another amethyst. Well, I'm going to lower my voice a little bit. We've got amethyst steel mirror match here. We had that last round. Apologies for the same one again, but it was a banger. Me and Jen had a wonderful time, and again, I think mirrors can bring it up.
Nein. Oh.
Just as a note to our audience, Lunar on the right hand side, is they them? So we respecting that. Oh, is that Japanese or is that developed?
Na klar, schön, dass sie uns 10 Minuten lang gezeigt haben, dass geile Decks Day 2 sind, die wir sehen wollen. Meanwhile, hier ist nichts davon. Oh, was ist das? Das Interface ist inkorrekt.
No amethyst steel mirror match. I do like a mirror match.
Okay. Kyle Wilson doch auf Emerald Sapphire, dann ist es wenigstens kein Mirror Match, ja, da können wir mitleben. Na gut. Ja, aber die Melbourne, ich weiß auch schon, wer gewonnen hat, leider, weil sie es vorhin fett ausgelabert haben. Die gucken wir beide jetzt definitiv nicht an. Ich würde sagen, Decklisten gucke ich so nächste Woche an. Nächste Woche bin ich ja Sonntag auf dem Tintenpot und Samstag habe ich Frühschicht. Aber Samstagabend habe ich Zeit, um Lorcana TCQ-Cast zu machen. Und genau das ist der Spot, wo wir zurückblicken auf diese Metagame-Listen, die diese Woche rausgekommen sind.
Absolutely, yeah. Loop back. Yeah.
Down comes a Calhoun for Lunar.
Yep, so pretty standard opening for both players, notably no one-cost Clarabelle on turn 1 for Kyle. That tends to be a pretty important piece of the puzzle, as we saw in our first round of the day today. Can be a big difference in games where Emerald Sapphire shifts across.
Yeah, der Panamac Anal.
Or sorry, on the 5 ink turn rather, typically turn 4, versus not. So no one-cost Clarabelle. Doesn't look particularly board relevant, but does have a big impact on the lines that Kyle can take in this mid-game.
Absolutely. GG going into the Inkwell, a new card somewhat filling the Lexington spot, filling a very similar role, but does not get locked down by that Stone by Day ability. So I like this as a replacement. And as we pass, the Donald Duck Perfect Gentleman has the ability where at the start of your turn, each player may draw a card. So we're going to ready all our cards, and then the set stage.
Ist es die neue Moana?
Players have the option to
yeah, in the game, too upset about that. Happy to take the extra cards and utilize.
Kann gut sein, ne?
Of course, we know Amethyst Steel many ways to discard additional cards and get some extra value out of them. Whether it's
so, und wie sieht's aus, Luna? Willst du jetzt mal was reinforsten? Wie fett ist diese denn?
Yeah, it's this mirrored effect of Donald Duck. As we find, Genie comes down, provides the 4th character in play for a Strength of the Raging Fire.
Yeah, getting rid of that new Moana who can put cards in your Inkwell.
Ah, sie hatte 4 Wille nur. Ja gut, dann war es ja nicht schlecht. Bam, 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 bam. Olaf bleibt zu Hause. Olaf. Ja, kann sein, dass wir Kyle gestern schon hatten. Keine Ahnung, diese Männer haben für mich alle die gleichen Namen halt. Alle sind sie nur so John Jones und Zack Snyder und so eine Scheiße. Luna Matthews kenne ich zumindest. Kyle Wilson hatten wir vielleicht gestern schon. Ja, weiß ich nicht. Aber Kyle hat Haare. Hatten wir nicht gestern relativ viele Leute so ohne Haare? Es gibt nur einen André Müller. Nein, es gibt 10.000 andere Müller oder so in Deutschland. Das ist voll krass. Darum bin ich ja auch TrashT. Da gibt es weltweit, glaube ich, nur so 3 oder 4 noch. Es gab mal so eine Heavy Metal Band, die hatten auch TrashT.com. Es gab so einen Kasachstan-Eishockey-Player. Und es war damals, inzwischen bin ich TrashT auf eBay. Aber damals konnte ich es nicht sein, weil es gab schon TrashT und er hat so Alteisen verkauft.
Yeah, might be just the Basil here for enabling some discard. We could see a whole lot of detectives in a deck like this.
Absolutely, and worth mentioning for Purple Steel
Ja, es läuft gut für Lunar Matthews auf jeden Fall in diesem Game, wie es aussieht. Er hat ordentliche Breite. Er wird jetzt gleich nicht all sein Board verlieren an die Combo.
7 lore on board, but 8 if the Calhoun could banish something.
Yeah, look at the effect that this, that we were saying about the fact that Donald Duck coming down.
Aber das Schlimmste von allen, dass wenn Kyle jetzt irgendwie seine Charakter exertet, dass dann theoretisch auch noch die Olafs wieder die Cobra zurückbouncen können. Für noch Massive Lore gehen. Ja, ist super schwer. Was hat er da oben? Basil 6 drauf? Ja, Malicious Mean und Scary wären nicht so schlecht, um die Olafs halt direkt wegzumachen. Ich weiß nicht, ich würde vielleicht so Tipo und Donald Duck in die Cobra semmeln, dann die M&Ms machen, damit Cobra und Olafs kaputt sind. Dann kann Luna noch so den andere Cobra bouncen, so, ja, okay, kann man mal machen. Aber noch vorher würde ich vielleicht den Calhoun auch hauen. Genau, du haust so Basil verhaut Calhoun. Und dann Tipo und Donald Duck challengen die Cobra. Und dann kommen M&Ms. Und dann kann Luna sich natürlich schon den Genie bouncen und oder die Cobra. Aber ob er es wollen wird, wird man sehen. Und Luna hat dann erstmal halt kaum noch was an Bord. Und dann könnte man noch was inken und Cinderella.
Absolutely. So maybe we're going to see. So Kyle here opting to play Cinderella. This is going to ramp ahead once at the end of turn.
Das finde ich nicht so toll, weil jetzt kann er die Cobra bouncen, die erschöpft ist.
So Lunar now has some options. What do we do with these two?
Wohingegen, wenn man vorher schon 3 Schaden auf die geforst hätte, dann wäre die jetzt weg.
Lunar could pick up both giant cobras.
Absolutely, we're at 4 ink at the moment, going into a 5 ink turn. Yeah, and Lunar is going to choose to make that choice, which makes all the sense. And you think Kyle maybe didn't. I don't know. I don't want to speculate too much, but I saw a little frown from Kyle there, seeing like that is quite dangerous, giving Lunar a.
Hätte man verhindern können.
He's already got spectral cards in his hand, and is able to deal with the board quite sufficiently.
Jetzt kannst du aber noch 3 Lore machen. Yeah, okay.
Lunar obviously picks up those 2 cobras, which is going to give him some fantastic reach and ability to close the game out. But Kyle needed to find a slightly clunky way of clearing the board there. So offers Lunar some incredible sort of value back for returning things to hand. In the end, ends up sculpting the board in the way that he wants. Of course, there are challenges ahead for Kyle now, but Lunar does simply have a Genie in play. We know that those Cobras are there to close the game out, but we're not quite in range to make the most use of them yet.
Not yet, no, and you've got to think just a Cobra plus a 2-drop here is maybe not enough. Like, you probably want to go a little bit wider here and save the Cobra for a little later in the game just to get you over that line. It is going to be the G. The first time I've seen this actually played today. I know you saw one yesterday, but I just keep seeing it inked.
Yeah.
I've got a take for you, LD.
Yes, of course.
I'm not convinced by this G.
Really?
I'm not convinced by it.
I think,
and here's a little bit of my reasoning. I don't like giving up my curve. And if you're not giving up your curve, then this Genie is just going to get ulted and demoned and removed. I know the free core stat line is pretty decent, but I don't know. Like, I've been wrong before, I will be wrong again, but even if you play this Genie on...
Er ist halt so der Curve-Füller. Du kannst ihn halt in Turn 3 legen oder in Turn 4.
5-drop on 5, you're not curving out the way you want to. I don't know, I think I need to see a bit more from this Genie to be a full believer. And hey, I'm willing. I'm willing to be won over. I can be bought.
Oh, as we see... Bend to my will from Kyle. Now, that decision to return those 2 cards to hand does not look quite so good.
Amazing. Na gut, what a turnout.
There from Lunar. This bend to my will. Just very simple card text. Each opponent discards all cards in their hand.
Oh, auch noch each opponent. Im Multiplayer kannst du die richtig super die Freunde machen.
And now, yeah, all of a sudden, a game that looked pretty firmly in Lunar's control has turned back towards Kyle. The other hidden advantage of these Basils and Donalds, cards like that, of course they perform very, very important roles in both drawing cards for Kyle and discarding the opponent, but also just characters that quest for 2. So once Kyle gets in control of the board, which he pretty firmly is now, that clock can turn pretty quickly. Kyle threatening to pull ahead on Law next turn.
100%, and it just goes to show how quickly it can all change when you're building this sport. Like, again, most of these characters quest for 2, like the Donald Duck, the Basil, and once we start getting things down like Hades and Prince Philip, then it is all gas. No.
Aber was jetzt? Man muss dringend mal diesen Genie wegmachen. Und man will ihn auch nicht unbedingt bouncen.
Gentleman has been sent home, so no extra card draw here. Works out well for Kyle, who just made Lunar discard their.
Aber mit Hades könnte man ihn so in die Tinte swiften. Dann gaint der Gegner halt noch 3 Ink.
Oh yes.
Still holding on to Hades' Infernal Schema, which at this point, while Lunar's board is more contained, starts to look pretty good. But you were talking about different advantages and disadvantages.
Aber die Frage ist immer noch, wie macht man diesen Genie weg?
One of the things that it does have going for it.
Wird man da mal Prinz Philip legen für 9? Dann ist er weg. Vielleicht vorher mal Hades auf Genie. 3 Drop. Yeah, alles in die Ink. Darf er die nicht angucken?
Straight into the inkwell, so you end up getting a pretty good exchange.
And that's the thing, I think that's part of my fortune.
Is there a downside to this? Yeah, ein bisschen.
Like, if you just boost this Genie once and quest, like, you might as well have just played Sisu as your 3 drop for the 2 lore that you're going to get for it. It might be, again,
sure, yeah.
I'm talking about Ruby, but just as a comparison, right? But yeah, like, if you're just boosting once per turn,
yeah, what a rip.
It's going to take, like, you're providing your opponent a lot of turns to be able to answer this Genie, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know, we'll see. It's going to win the whole thing and make me look like a fool, and I hope it happens. Like, anytime I can learn and
Nachkomme von Jack the Ripper.
Something, and especially in preparation for Gent, where you got to think, you know, some of these cards are going to come into play.
So one thing I was going to remark on there is that extra ink that Lunar gained through the Hades on the boosted Genie is only good if Lunar draws something which enables them to use lots and lots of.
Ja, es war der super Top-Deck genau jetzt.
Demona, a perfect example of that. Finding themselves with 8 ink, which is perfect for Demona, draw 3, player Christopher Robin, quest with the Genie to 16. Now, out of nowhere, because of that Genie gaining so much ink from the Hades, Lunar's in a position where they're able to just say, okay, we're going to have to find a way to clear my board once again.
And that is something I love about the boost mechanic, the synergies it offers in terms of, like, you know, get extra ramping yourself or extra cards in hand. I think it's a very healthy addition to the game.
Yeah, it's great. It looks like Kyle finds an Under the Sea, which will be enough to take care of Genie and Christopher Robin. Not going to take care of the Demona unless we have something like a Hades to play on the same turn. So, yes, okay.
Like you wrote the script yourself, LD.
Yeah, we can
Down
sing
comes
Under the Sea.
Schema, and there it is. The seaweed is always greener. On the bottom of your deck, Lunar saying, any particular order? Carl seemingly saying, it's not going to matter, mate.
No.
Ist schon so gut wie vorbei, ne?
Now, I'm not too sure.
Es ging ja theoretisch noch so Cobra, aber jetzt nicht mehr.
Hades going to choose
Nö.
down the Basil disguised detective, and Kyle saying, no, I won't give up my Basil, and that's going to be it. Game 1 goes to Kyle Wilson. Emerald Sapphire going strong. Is that the way you would expect this to go?
Yeah, I think in terms of what this matchup tends to look like, it feels a little favoured for Emerald Sapphire.
Is it really so?
As we remarked on the first round of today, I think one of the challenges for the Amethyst Steel player.
Also von mir aus hast du mit Amethyst Steel das gute Matchup gegen Dogs. Und eigentlich finde ich auch Dogs sind das stärkste Deck in diesem Format. Aber es ist halt nicht so stark vertreten. Und wenn wir gucken, wie viel oben so Blurple und Emerald Sapphire, du hast ja ein schlechtes Matchup gegen über 50% des Felds. Ich weiß echt immer nicht, was diese Amethyst Steel Leute sich denken.
Does she not resist it now, or I'm still trying to get clarification on that, because obviously resist doesn't stop malicious, mean, and scary, but is placing a damage still taking damage?
I'm pretty sure that malicious, mean, and scary still deals damage.
It still
does,
but
okay. Cheshire Cat doesn't. It's a very. I'm still a little bit lost.
We're still perfecting the understanding of a very recent update to the comprehensive rules document.
Das haben wir gestern schon nachgelesen. Ich glaube, sie hält malicious, mean, and scary auch auf.
Is taking and moving damage counters is taking damage.
Yes.
Yeah, it's very intricate.
Yeah, it's very minute but important point of detail.
But I distracted you there. To your original point, the malicious, mean, and scary, helping to deal with everything in combination with the Prince Philip.
Yeah, absolutely. So it creates this one-sided board wipe for Kyle's deck, and the challenge for Lunar there is that their deck doesn't really have any way to prevent that. So in the past, we might have played Pete, games referee, to prevent actions for the next turn and safeguard your own board. That card not seeing a lot of play much anymore, simply because the quality of other 3-cost characters is far too high to find effective space for Pete in a lot of these lists anymore. And the result is that matchups like this become a bit tougher, where you know that there are very, very swingy turns, whether it's Under the Sea or whether it's a Prince Philip combo as we've just laid out. It's, yeah, really, really tough to prevent those big swings from happening.
But moving into game 2, Lunar will be on the play. Hopefully can take us to a game 3. As casters, we love a game 3.
We do indeed.
We love more gameplay, more action. Of course, there is a backup match if this match does finish.
Ja, ist die Frage, ob das Backup-Match nicht am Ende cooler ist als das hier.
And we're off to the races. Captain Hook going into the Inkwell and Olaf as our one-drop of choice.
Yep, so let's see this.
Ja, Instant Olaf.
Well, first of all, let's see if there's a turn 1 Clarabelle. There is not. There is another Basil, though.
The practice detective.
Once again, this is another one of those cards that's sometimes in these lists, sometimes not. And we're seeing, you know,
naja. Es kann sein, dass wir Kai gestern schon gesehen haben, weil wir definitiv gestern aber so einen Emerald Sapphire Guy gesehen haben, der auch diese Basil Shiftline in seinem Deck hatte und wo wir uns dachten, so, na klar, bestimmt kommt er gleich noch mit Judy Hobbs, aber dann haben wir sie so nie gesehen.
Some really, really good challenges. Something that Car's deck can't do is challenge very effectively.
Und jetzt wirst du mit Basil wahrscheinlich traden wollen? Ich glaube schon, oder? Ja, trade doch mit Basil in den Olaf, er macht es nicht. Er hält ihn lieber zurück, weil er gleich vorhat, mit seinem Tipo den Dock zu überfahren, oder was? Es ist eine Choice. Ist nicht super schlecht, aber ich glaube, ich hätte getradet. Dir kann ja nicht viel passieren, außer dass der Gegner zu schnell 20 Low macht.
We're going to get clarification there, because I mean, it's not relevant, but well, it might be relevant. Maybe there's a Lilo bundled up in the deck.
Could be.
It could become relevant, LD.
Aber eventuell hat er jetzt die Shiftline.
I believe both things to be true, like
me too,
switching in and out. Yeah, I desperately.
Oh,
ja, hat er.
Just as you said, LD, sorry to cut you off there, but like you wrote the script yourself, down comes that shifted Basil.
Yeah.
Ich glaube, du verhaust jetzt den Dock und tradest dann noch Olaf mit deinem Tipo. Super stark. Dann kann Gigi halt kommen und deinen Basil wegmachen und okay. Dann hat der Gegner gar kein Board. Und 3 Lore. Und du hast gleich 5 weg. Er legt natürlich was nach für 4. Genie, sagen wir.
You're a big enough dump truck fan for all of us.
Yeah, I love dump truck enough to carry the spirit of that card through this whole venue. But yes, if Kyle opts to take that, just as we thought, the Tipo trades with the... Oh.
What?
I wondered if we might see...
er hat einfach noch einen Dock. Ja, okay.
Maybe Lunar might opt to return.
Das hätte man sich ja auch fast denken können.
That not looking like such a strong proposition here, and I think I've noticed why.
I suppose it's a card hard... We have no one in hand. It's a hard card to get out of your...
Wobei ich glaube ich auch on Turn 2, wenn ich kein anderes Play gehabt hätte, so meinen einzigen Dock gelegt hätte für 2. Vor allem, wenn ich Turn 1 Olaf schon gelegt hatte. Deswegen war es jetzt nicht so 100% für mich, dass der Gegner noch einen Dock auf der Hand hat. Aber ja, klar, schon likely. Nicht likely von einem statistischen Standpunkt, aber likely von unter so einer halt Bayesian Logik, wo man sieht, ah ja, unter der Bedingung, dass er das und das gemacht hat.
Yeah, I don't.
And our production team are having an argument now after that comment. One proud Scotsman on the tech team, one not.
Yeah, so obviously I live at the complete opposite end of England.
You live in the middle of nowhere,
yeah,
I'm just going to say it straight.
I'm
not going to bounce around this. You live in the middle of nowhere.
I really, really do live in the middle of nowhere. And so as a result...
Jetzt wird Luna doch mal wieder noch 4 Loch machen, oder? Vielleicht nur 3, um noch eine zu ziehen. Aber er macht lieber 4. Ja, okay, schwierig. Ich weiß nicht. Ich glaube, ich hätte einen gezogen. Einfach, weil ich die Ink noch über habe. Eine Handkarte muss doch einen Lore wert sein.
Yeah, there he is, the premier removal in the game. It still upsets me that the premier removal is not a Ruby card. Like, what are we doing here? I do love this Hades, don't get me wrong. A classic first chapter. Lunar waving his docks at the camera in frustration.
Absolutely.
Ach so, er hat noch 2 und da ist schon noch der dritte, ja.
Played out in a slightly strange way, where the pace of play has been a little different. So Lunar's still doing a good job of questing ahead, you know, finding some early lore thanks to Genie primarily, but that shifted Basil coming down when it did really limits the sort of range of good quests available to Lunar, which is often all that Kyle's deck needs is just a slight bit of breathing room, which means an extra bit of time means more turns to ink up to where we can get those one-sided board wipes online, whether it's Under the Sea or Prince Philip.
Für 4.
Cold cards in hand.
No.
Warum denn nicht auf Basil?
Turns ability on this Basil, especially if you've only got one. Like you draw the Demona and you're like, oh yeah, I can't wait to play this next turn.
Ist er 4-5 oder so?
Absolutely, yeah.
Ich dachte, er ist 4-4.
Or even if you've got two, right, you can just ink for turn and then.
Aber er ist 4-5, glaube ich, ne?
So yeah, this Basil is really.
Und deswegen hat er es wahrscheinlich nicht gemacht.
The game, look into the future.
Yeah, I was just going to say that the card Kyle's looking for here is an Under the Sea, and it looks like he's found one.
Swap.
Oh, there you go. The seaweed is always greener at the bottom of your deck, and Lunar giving Kyle the choice to choose the order, which he does simply do. Again, this is something that
Das Weed ist grüner auf der anderen Seite des Bildschirms.
Probably aren't getting to the bottom of the deck.
No.
But there is an argument, like, again, you don't know where to spend too much time on it, but you never know. It depends on the card draw, how much card draw the deck has access to, right?
Absolutely.
Especially with things like Demona. So yeah, sometimes it is worth just taking the time to make that choice. It might not always be relevant, but small thing.
Yeah, and I mean, while it's going to be difficult for Lunar to get back in full control of this board for sort of more than a single turn at this point, does find one of the stronger lines available there of challenging GG into Hades and then playing a Cheshire Cat to move the last damage. Now,
that
here's an interesting one.
A very nice card to get off the top of the deck.
Durchaus.
He's a conniving chemist who on Exert will feel the power and let you draw up.
Na klar, das geht nicht.
Perfect insulation against a card like Basil, or defense against something like Bent to My Will. Not sure if card is playing that, but it could certainly be in there. A nice one-off juicy copy, or 4, who knows.
Was willst du jetzt machen? Go,
yeah,
bestimmt.
Basil and Clarabelle both on Kyle's side of the board, both in different ways incentivizing Lunar to play with as few cards in hand as possible. So Yzma is absolutely fantastic.
Die Combo Basil und Clarabelle.
Really going to be very, very important to see.
Ist die Frage, ob Yzma jetzt kaputt gemacht werden kann oder nicht. Kyle hat ja nicht wirklich viel Removal.
Ready, set, draw for Kyle, who, if he can get rid of this Yzma, that would be pretty good again. Like,
aber hat er jetzt vielleicht doch noch so ein You're welcome. Da ist eins.
Is at 11 lore, and where there are giant cobras, there are certainly ways for Lunar to take us to a game 3 here.
Absolutely.
Nimmt er es?
I would love to see this play out.
So did see a few of the cards that Kyle was looking at there with the Vision of the Future. One of them, I saw You're Welcome, that provides one option. So You're Welcome might be pretty strong here because it would...
aber er hat Prince Philip genommen, glaube ich, oder? Oder hat er Prince Philip schon auf der Hand? Ne, er hat You're Welcome genommen. Macht er erstmal You're Welcome fett auf Yzma.
What can I say except... Shuffle in the deck. Yeah. Get shuffled.
Ey, servus.
Get shuffled. Yeah, getting rid of that Yzma, which really I think was Lunar's ticket to keep staying in this game.
Yep.
Again, they have no hand. This Yzma we would have drawn for turn. We would have either played or inked that card, and then Yzma would have taken us back up to 3, and then maybe we can go wide enough, find a giant cobra, and just pull out ahead. But Kyle recognizing that, getting it off the board, it is going to give Lunar a couple of cards. Are they going to be sticking around, though, because of this Basil? Only one card in hand for Kyle.
Yeah, and that draw 2 effect on the You're Welcome sort of positioned as a drawback, but when you have a Clarabelle in play, absolutely not a drawback on that card, just another reason to play it.
Yeah, absolutely. Like it still works out better for you, right? Like making your opponent draw 2 and you remove the Yzma is better than the Yzma sticking and then drawing 3.
Absolutely.
So you pick your poison, you know.
Good
for you,
deal.
the poison for Kuzco. Kuzco's poison. The poison goes specifically to banish Kuzco. That poison? Clarabelle gonna ready up.
Trying to decide whether to quest with Clarabelle.
Just a little discussion going on here. And
Wieso denn nicht?
again, if you are just joining us, welcome to CCQ Wakefield. This is round 10, the final round of Swiss before we will be going into top 16 cut. Lots of incredible surprises here. A huge thank you to Axion now. And to be fair, someone that we maybe haven't given as much this weekend as we should have, our wonderful judges. Really going all out this weekend.
Yep, great judge staff here.
With some new cards, they've had to learn the way these interactions work. Like we were just having a moment about what rule the judges have been having to perfect. They can't stumble like we did. They need to know.
No, if we say something wrong, chat just tells us.
Yeah, exactly.
But the judges have to be
chat
right.
tells us we're stupid. We move on.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
Fine.
Ja, ziehst du 2.
The judges have to be
Die einfachste Choice von allen, wenn Hades auf Clarabelle kommt. Na klar, draw du doch, dann draw ich gleich noch mehr. Gleich viel besser, als dass jetzt meine Clarabelle defeated ist.
Been fantastic, as well as a shout out to our production team that have been fantastic on the weekend as well.
Yeah, absolutely. A huge shout out to production, the judges. There's some incredible artists in the
Tradet man jetzt Cat gegen Basil? Ich glaube es ja nicht, aber...
Community, a fantastic prize wall. Yeah, this is my second
Was wirst du machen?
I played at an Axion event last year, which was an awful lot of fun.
Wo ist denn hier so der Gegner? Er hat noch 0 Lore oder was angeblich?
A positive environment for people to play the Lorcana trading card game. So a shout out to Axion, a shout out to Ravensburg for helping with the event, turning it into a CCQ, and yeah, it's been a
Scheinbar.
Yeah, absolutely. Axion have been around in the trading card game space for a long time, and an absolute huge asset to the UK community.
Sure is.
We do owe them a great amount.
We're going to ink a Cheshire Cat going to trade into the Basil.
Er macht es also doch. Ja, aber da nochmal rauskommen wird.
Nothing too egregious. And suddenly, Lunar with a couple of cards in hand and a Hades, a double Clarabelle, there you go. I was trying to talk myself into, have we nearly stabilized? But down comes the second Clarabelle.
Ja, da geht gar nichts.
In that hand for Lunar, along with that Angel.
And again, another one of these cases. It keeps happening. I've seen this even today multiple times. Strength for Raging Fire just really not looking like the incredible
Amethyst Steel ist einfach crap in diesem Matchup.
Cards in the game, and it certainly is as part of that 1-2-3 strength curve. And then it just comes along at these inopportune times where it may as well have almost no text.
And another card with a low floor,
yeah.
Right? Like, again, usually you're going to get at least a reasonable floor if you're doing 3 or 4 damage and taking out one thing. But, yeah, like, if you don't have characters, it is almost the worst card in the deck.
Yeah. Both players laughing at that sequence there, where the line was discard 1 strength to Angel to put 2 damage on Clarabelle, hard cast the other strength for 2, and then trade Hades in to remove 1 Clarabelle.
It's a lot of effort for 1 cow.
Yeah, both players
ausgegeben.
But I suspect for radically different reasons.
Was macht der Gegner jetzt? Er macht doch so Cinderella bestimmt.
How challenging it is to put together the pieces required to remove a Clarabelle here. Kyle laughing at the huge advantage.
Ah, und Donald. Sure.
What they need to mimic a fraction of our power, basically, Kyle said. Another perfect.
Ja, das ist nochmal das andere. Also, PS muss ja generell rennen in diesem Matchup. Und ich sehe immer wieder, wie dieser Amethyst-Steel-Spieler ist. Ich frage mich, wie es... Also ich versuche mir die ganze Zeit zu erklären, wieso wir immer so viel Amethyst-Steel sehen, aber dann andauernd sehen, wie es halt nicht besonders gut ist. Und wieso raffen es die Leute nicht und picken immer noch alle Amethyst-Steel? Okay, zum einen kann es sein, dass Leute sich einfach denken, oh, lululu, viele Leute spielen Amethyst Steel, das finde ich auch cool und dann tue ich es auch. Und ne, ohne viel nachzudenken, was gut ist und was schlecht und nur so was beliebt ist und was nicht. Das ist natürlich stumpf. Na?
Yeah, I think and we've just seen exactly that play out, which is, you know, Angel a completely new.
Aber es könnte auch sein, dass sie das so testen, weil dass sie einfach gute Spieler sind und sie testen das halt gegen Leute, die nicht so gut sind. Das verzerrt halt dein Testing am meisten. Ich nehme jetzt ein Deck und play dann gegen den Random Guy und der playt alle anderen Decks. Und dann finde ich raus, mein Deck ist stark. Aber vielleicht finde ich in Wirklichkeit nur raus, dass ich besser play als dieser Random Guy. Und dringend muss man auch mal so tauschen und der Random Guy playt mein Deck und ich play sein Deck. Denn dann kommt man eher drauf. Ich meine, dieser Lunar, was denkt er sich denn jetzt, dieser Lunar Matthews? So, oh, so lief es aber nicht im Playtesting, wahrscheinlich. Oder dachte er sich vorher schon so, ja, well, gegen Blurple und Emerald Sapphire muss man halt einfach aufgeben. Glaube ich ja nicht. Er kann sich ja auch nicht gedacht haben, so, Blurple spielt bestimmt keinen.
Another strength at just the wrong time.
Because we can next turn we can quest for, if we assume this Genie boosts, so 2 Genies quest for 4.
Wobei doch, man hätte sich denken können, weil das ja das erste Event so ist in diesem Metagame. So, ja, alle bauen bestimmt irgendwas, aber ich baue immer noch Blurple. Vielleicht dachte er, es kommen mehr Argo-Decks jetzt.
I hope I prove wrong. I would love to see a game-changing top deck here, LD.
Yeah, we would like to see it, but I think you're completely right.
Aber ne, scheinbar nicht. Ich bin gespannt, ob diese Amethyst Steel mich fertig machen werden. Nächste Woche. Die Emerald Sapphire schon mal nicht.
Another Clarabelle coming down, so this is the problem, right? Because he's gonna go to 15. Lunar may have been able to remove just the Basil to keep Kyle off of it, but this Clarabelle now is, I think, shutting the door.
Yeah, absolutely, and I really do feel for Lunar a bit here. Some of those draws have not been the greatest. Let's see what's picked up for the turn.
Casters what's the score on the second stream. We've got our wonderful production Will in chat there who's going to chase that up. We don't have it in front of us, but it is just around the corner, so we'll try and get you that information. It is likely that we will get to see some of that match.
Yep, if this game is closed by Kyle, we should have something else to have a look at.
Ja, das ist halt auch sau... Also erstens ist es auch schwer. Und ich finde auch, dass die Leute sich so zu lange dazu verleiten lassen, ums Board zu kämpfen. Die Leute tun aber auch so halt... Was heißt, sie tun zu viele Karten in ihr Deck, um ums Board zu kämpfen. Sind halt so ein Midrange-Deck, was stark ist gegen aggressive Strategien. Da kann man im Control-Deck... Ja, man muss dann halt echt so aggro machen, wie man nur kann. Ich glaube auch, das machen viele falsch. Die Frage ist nur, wieso, wenn sie es falsch machen, also okay... Aber dann würde man ja denken, dass sie es im Testing auch schon falsch machen und dann rausfinden, dass es, oder dann so bemerken, dass es kein gutes Deck ist. Ob es nun really kein gutes Deck ist oder sie es nur falsch spielen, ist ja dann in ihrer Hand egal. Wenn ich ein Deck spiele und ich spiele es falsch und ich verliere immer, dann spiele ich es nicht auf dem Turnier. Und wenn dann rauskommt, das Deck ist stark und ich hätte es spielen sollen, dann so, oh, interesting. Anscheinend hätte ich es noch irgendwie so besser spielen sollen, bei mir war es shit. Aber diesen Effekt kenne ich schon seit so Street Fighter 2. Wo immer so, wow, der gegnerische Zangief ist voll stark und wenn ich Zangief spiele, macht er nichts. Aber es liegt daran, weil der Gegner so die AI dann auch gewesen ist.
Any lore bursts in blue-green? I don't think so.
Not typically.
Darling Deer from Amber.
I'd be very, very surprised if we saw something like a Go-Go Tamago here.
Oh, there's a Robin Hood who is a two-cost 2/2 who on play. If your opponent has a damaged character, you gain a lore. Are you playing it, Kyle? Is it even in rotation anymore? I don't know, but I know the card exists.
I would be astounded.
I would lose my mind.
Yeah. So even though Kyle's completely on the brink of closing the game, does now have to take some challenges back to prevent Lunar from ending the game.
Immer das Beste. Der beste Sunchill für 7 Uninkable. Und kein Song.
Kyle goes to 17. We know that we've got an active Dumbo and 2 evasives and plenty of ink for Lunar. There is a way back into this game.
There could be.
Ja, die Frage ist wie, weil du musst ja jetzt erstmal beide Clarabelles abräumen. Das kostet dich 9 Schaden. Du hast gerade 7 Power an Bord. Du bist also erstmal schon short. Das Problem ist, wenn da jetzt Strength of Raging Fire drin gewesen ist, dann hätte man jetzt 8. Man könnte dann allerdings vielleicht noch einen Charakter legen, dann hätte man 9.
Now would be the right time again.
Because Dumbo can take out this Clarabelle, the damaged one.
We need something, an Angel perhaps would be enough to play and remove the Basil to stop Kyle from winning the game next turn. Genie.
Ah ja, Removal auf den Basil würde auch noch gehen, stimmt. Man braucht nur so random einen Schaden auf den Basil, um noch zu surviven.
Okay, I think I see a GG, a Palace Guard and potentially a Yzma.
Jetzt geht's glaube ich schon nicht mehr.
Another one, but now we can't challenge into the Clarabelle and Lunar. You could see the look on the face. Oh, Cheshire Cat. That would have allowed us to take out the Basil. Oh, so it was one card too deep. And there we have it. Kyle Wilson is going to take that match 2-0 versus Lunar. An incredible showing. That Cheshire Cat just one card too deep for Lunar. But you got to give Kyle
Hätte es sonst gereicht?
Basil, I think, really was so impactful in this matchup.
Wo wäre der Schaden hergekommen? Waren nicht nur so 3 auf der Clarabelle? Und die hätte man gebraucht, um mit Dumbo da reinzutrainen?